Hello again, everybody. This is John and Glenn from Best Price Nutrition. Today we're going to be talking about post-workout nutrition with you guys. We get a lot of questions about this specific period of the day, and really a lot of your needs are going to depend upon how intense you work out. Typically if you work out intensely, your body's going to go through some things physiologically that you're going to need to replenish in order to grow. We always hear about the anabolic window, and they always say about an hour after you work out. Within that period of time, you have a very strong chance there to elicit growth in the body. Specifically, what's going on during your intense workout is your body is going to first and foremost burn your blood sugar. Once your blood sugar levels deplete, your body's going to start to tap into stored energy. Hopefully some body fat, but also glycogen. Glycogen is stored blood sugar, so your body has a couple sources of stored energy. Well, if you come home after you work out and you just ingest a protein shake, if I had $1 for every time somebody comes in and says, yeah, I take my whey protein post-workout, they're working out intense, the problem becomes is that your body is going to look to replenish glycogen before it's going to take that protein and build and repair the muscle tissue that you damaged during your workout. So your body has the ability to take your protein and turn it into sugar. It's called gluconeogenesis. It's a process that your body does that with. However, your body can't take carbohydrates and turn them into protein. So, the solution is for your post-workout shake to have a combination of carbohydrates and protein. I remember there was a study where they compared Gatorade and chocolate milk, was it? Mm-hmm. And chocolate milk
was favored because
it
had protein.
Yeah, it had protein and carbohydrates, so obviously that was going to be better. And that's not a bad thing to do if you're short on money. But if you want to get a little more technical and specific to meet your needs post-workout, I personally recommend this product, Insipro. Looking at the ingredients profile, it's the best one that I've seen on the market. Glenn, if you want to cover a little bit about it.
Yeah, essentially it's got a 2-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein. Specifically, the carb sources are waxy maize starch, which is it's called a heavy, high molecular weight carb. It's a very heavy carb. Sort of has a snowball effect while it's absorbing. Picture a snowball that's rolling through a pile of leaves. Whatever is along with these carbs is going to be pulled in with it. And another source is fructose and glucose, so basically simple sugars, because you want that insulin spike after you work out. That insulin spike is going to drive all the carbs and all the protein you're ingesting into the muscle cells. And then there's protein inside of it. Protein sources are, the first thing is peptipro, which is a hydrolyzed casein protein. A lot of people are thinking, well, why do I want casein after I work out? Well, this specific source of casein has been enzymatically pre-digested or broken down. I think everywhere there's a proline amino acid, it's cut there, and it's cut into di and tripeptides, meaning 2 and 3 amino acid chains. And this is what your body would naturally do, or get it to that state before it absorbs it, so it's already done for you. Because after you work out, your body doesn't want to spend time breaking food down and having to really work on absorbing it. So,
two things there is if you have too much protein after your workout, your body's going to have to put the brakes on and absorb a large amount of protein. And here's the thing. You've got a lot of blood in whatever muscle group or groups you worked out after your workout. If you ingest a mass quantity of macronutrients, that blood is going to have to be diverted into your gut. So and that's going to be hard for your body to do. So that's why sometimes like a lower dose, like with this particular product, 2 scoops is 48 grams of carbs, 23 grams of protein. And a lot of people say, well, only 23 grams of protein. Well, no, that's about what you want. You want just enough to get your body to flip the anabolic switch on. You don't want to do too much, because you could also get metabolic acidosis as well from taking in too much protein right there at that time. And Glenn also touched on something too with insulin. If you're a natural guy, assuming you are, the hormone that you have the most control over is insulin, really. And if you can get an insulin spike, it's a very anabolic hormone. It's going to drive everything into your cells. Now, typically throughout the day, we want to keep our blood sugar levels balanced, but post-workout, that's a really good time to spike those insulin levels, to drive everything into your cells, like Glenn had touched on. And one other note on peptipro, I'd read about that a few years ago, and it's a phenomenal ingredient. If you compare it to other proteins on the market, it's by far the best that I've seen, specifically because when they hydrolyze casein, they know the amino acid structure, just as they do with whey. However, this company, DSM, that makes it, they were able to make the enzyme cut, like he mentioned, right at proline. So they have a known area where they're cutting, and after they hydrolyze the protein, they go through another step to get rid of some of the extra residue, which would be extra oligopeptides and free-form amino acids. So you're going to get a nice rich dose of di-tripeptides, which are going to absorb extremely fast. And that's why they use the casein hydrolysate instead of a whey protein hydrolysate, because it's actually better.
Yeah, whey hydrolysate can be broken down into single amino acids, and essentially after you work out, that's not what you want. you want a peptide bonded or chains, shorter chains of amino acids.
Because of competitive inhibition, the free-form amino acids will actually get outcompeted by peptides, because your body has a preference, per se, for peptides in your GI tract. That's what your body wants to absorb, is your amino acids and the peptide bond. They're much more stable. But we covered the carbohydrates, the protein, and just some of the physiological things that you'll notice when you take a good post-workout. Again, assuming you had a nice, intense workout. Personally, for me, my mouth will get dry about 20 minutes later if I don't drink water, because that's a nice indication that you did get a good insulin spike, because everything, including water, gets driven into your cells, and you should start to feel a little more full of the muscle you worked out.
A good pump, actually.
Yes,
feel fuller. Especially the leaner you are, the more you'll feel that.
Noticeable.
You definitely will get a pump, because your muscles are going to be full because of that high molecular weight carb, the insulin spike, and the protein and your blood glucose or not your blood glucose, your stored glycogen getting back into the cell.
Yeah, and once all those needs are accomplished, then you've pretty much accomplished what you need to. Personally, I like to eat whole food about an hour, hour and a half later, since this stuff does absorb so fast. I do like to eat something that's rich in protein, a complex carbohydrate, and some kind of a green vegetable. But it's all dependent upon your goals. I mean, if you're trying to get lean, you're getting ready for a show, you might want to cut the carbs and just have a green vegetable and a healthy source of protein. But I like to go with whole food about an hour, hour and a half later. As far as when to use this, the only time is post-workout. I wouldn't use it any other time of day. People ask if, hey, should I use this as a weight gainer? Yeah, I guess you could, but I mean, it would get kind of pricey. I think you're better off just eating extra carbohydrates or maybe taking a more calorie-dense shake. Beyond that, you can stack it with, another protein powder or something like that, just not to be used at the same time, because, as we touched on, too much protein is not really a good thing.
Yeah, especially after you work out, you don't want that much. A lot of people say, I'll just go home and have a meal after workout, and like we touched on, you don't want to do that, because then your body's going to stop recovering and going to turn it over to breaking down this food you just took in. So this is why this is perfect for post-workout.
Yeah, we're talking ideal situations. Now, you're better off eating the whole food meal than not doing anything at all. We'd want to make sure that you're getting something. But given your choice, and what we're covering is what's best for post-workout, this is the best that we have seen. So
exactly. Yeah.
Well, that covers post-workout for us today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. We're more than happy to answer them. And keep letting us know what you'd like to hear from us. Thank you.
Thank you.